Good morning. Started the stream a little bit early today. How are we all doing? Today we're going to be doing some price analysis on Bitcoin as ever. We'll have a look at what's been going on in terms of are we in a bear market, are we not, are we range bound, what's going on. So we'll have a look through Bitcoin, have a look at mainly price analysis on that, and then we'll go through all the majors as usual, go through Ethereum, Zilliqa, VeChain. If you've got any questions regards to pretty much anything, fire them in the chat. Wait for a few people to get in and then we'll crack on. Morning, somebody. What is range bound? I'll explain that now. Right, so we'll drop into the 4 hour time frame. Actually, we'll just go back to that daily. So we're watching this move here. So we hit the 31k region, and we've popped back up to the top of this range, and we've done a 61% retracement, which so far has held up. We've got, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks on this range, so it does show that there's a key area of support there, which is pretty much 35k. It's around central range. So dropping into 4 hour. So a range area, so if you look at the top line here, this is the top of a line, the range where it has rejected, and then this is the bottom of a range where it has used as support. So within these two levels is classed as the range. So as you can see, range bound means we are just bouncing within in that range. So we've come down to the bottom of range, back up to the top of range, around mid range, back up toward the top, back down to the bottom, and we're just bouncing up and down within this range now. Currently bang on that 35k support level, which is pretty much near on that 618 retracement level. So it is looking like not much going on. I put these arrows on here yesterday, and I put a tweet out saying, how come people was not saying it was a bear market in these 3 weeks here, but for some reason they think it's a bear market now? All I see so far is that we are range bound. Somebody put a decent tweet out yesterday, I think it was Salsa, saying that. I'll tell you what, I'll find it. Which makes sense, to be honest. So day news, Bitcoin is not naturally going down, it is being pushed down via whales placing spoofy sell orders on exchanges to make noobs and risk managers sell to buyback low. They're stealing your bags. I will continue to make buyback higher price. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what's happening. I think it's just a bit of whale manipulation that's going on at the minute. So in terms of BTC, key level here, we've bounced off it before, back on the 13th of June. We've come back up, tested the highs of that range, and come back down and tested this range again here. So if you look all the way through, we've had a lot of weeks within this area, so it does show that there's a key level of support. If we just mark it up. So if you look at this wick here, bounce of support, 2 support wicks through it, support there, support there, support all the way here, so and support there. So in reality, we should have expected a 61% retracement over the entire move. So far it's not too bad. We could always come back down and test this region again at 31k. There would be nothing bad if we did come back down and test that region, but I can see us bouncing off here. We're doing over weekends, or the last few for the last 6-7 months have been absolutely diabolical, but the last 2 weekends have been quite steady away, haven't they? So let's see if this weekend can get a little bit better for us. We are currently bounced off that 35k region, so let's see if we use it as some support. Morning from Belgium. In other news, England couldn't even beat Scotland, so we're all doomed. Yeah, Scotland seemed to feel like they won it yesterday, didn't they? Both played dog shit in my opinion. England were crap. Scotland, no special. They're just fucking lucky who played a crap team. Scotland are going mad, think they've won it. Could we make head and shoulders then push us lower on this range? Always a possibility, mate. Head and shoulders pattern is pretty much this region here. So here you have your head, your shoulder, or left shoulder. There's your head, there's your right shoulder. So there's a good potential that we could drive lower, back down to this range here, before we then start pushing up. But there's so many patterns in play, and there's so many different scenarios people are talking about. Obviously, people are talking about this, the death cross, as you say, or just a standard EMA crossover, which is a lagging indicator anyway. So I covered that yesterday on yesterday's stream, so if you want to look about that, then you can check it out. But you've got that potential head and shoulders really downside, but in a bullish scenario, you've actually got the Wyckoff pattern, which I'm not a massive fan of either. But this is the top of range, you're bouncing in here, and there's a good potential that you could push to the upside here. There's that many scenarios in play though. Nobody's really got a clue over. I think for me, it's just the chances of accumulation now. England play very, very poor. Agreed, Marco. What are the chances of getting to 30k again? Good chance, really. Depends how this line holds up here. This is 35k is acting as some nice support pretty much all the way through. If we did lose this level, I think we would come back down to test 30k. We've been down there 3 times in that region, so it wouldn't surprise me if we did come down to the area again. But let's just monitor that. So far, it's holding up well. As you can see, we've had pretty much starting to get a period of consolidation. Let's have a look and see if this continues here. So we had a consolidation period here, and then we popped to the upside. For me, personally, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. A bear market for me would be indicated by some closures below this region. If we did close below this region, then it'd just be a time to hold on to your bags for dear life. But if you looked around here, we shot up to 41k, then we dropped off. Why won't people calling a bear market here? It probably was, but I didn't monitor it. But then eventually, after a few weeks, we did push up. I think the same scenario could potentially play out here. As you see, we are still range bound and trapped within this higher and lower range. So, who knows? What's the best site in the UK to place automatic buys and sells Ether again into fees and what's that word say? Oh, easeability. Automatic buys. I think Coinpass is quite good for that. Coinbase is a UK cryptocurrency exchange. I think I've got a link somewhere. I know it's CEO of Coinpass, it's a decent exchange. And it's fast, you can get money in and out of your bank within like 90 minutes. Just accumulation phase, that's what I reckon, buddy. I don't see much of nothing else really to show us that we are in a potential bear market yet. Like I say, closures below this region and drives down to 24k would then be thinking, right, just got to hold on for a bit longer, haven't we? But looking at if this is still key. Bitcoin has failed to pretty much break through that range. I were expecting, if you just look on the weekly, still expecting Bitcoin to rise back up to this 52% region. So at some stage we could see a Bitcoin drive back up to that 42 to 45k region, which would then bring us dominance back up here, and then hopefully swing back down and get a good push on back down to these levels. But so far, a lot of bearish sentiment in the market, isn't there? Which wouldn't be expected after you see a massive rise like that. Let's have a look back in the past at something. So that was a drop, 30% drop on the previous bull cycle. What do we do here as well? Another 30% drop there. So it just shows that on the way up we do get major pullbacks. So just dropping back to a weekly. For me this is just a standard pullback, but let's just wait and see. I mean if you look on the daily time frame, yeah, it's just range bounding and not much going on there. So in terms of price analysis of Bitcoin, I can't see much going on, to be honest, yet. Still looking for a break back up towards that 41k region. Hello, we are doing higher highs on my RSI and getting closer to a red area. What do you think about what time frame there? And what red area? My red area is up here, to be honest, mate. Can't understand why somebody would sell now instead of buying. I think it's a good buying opportunity, and if it did drop lower, all it would be was a dollar cost average opportunity to ladder down. So, I mean, considering we're being up to 65k and we're only at 35k now, I think that's a decent buy zone, to be honest. And hopefully we can push on from this region. If we do drive lower, we might come down to 33k and then 31k. So let's just see what happens there and monitor price. So that's pretty much BTC covered. Range bound, done that 61% retracement. So let's see what goes on from here. You could do that, John, mate. Yeah, you could wait to see if we get a test down here. Then you'd obviously maybe have a stop loss on in case we do drop down to 28k or 24k. But let's just see, mate. Very indecisive market, currently range bound out, so let's just monitor and see what goes on. We'll come back to BTC throughout the stream though. So looking at Ethereum, so I had a retracement on here, so I use the extensions above and below when I'm using Fibonacci, and look at how we've come down off at 1.72 down at 21,500, and we've actually bounced off that so far. So let's see what goes on now. We've not actually been below this middle range for quite a while. And last time we did drop below it, we pushed back up, and last time we wicked below it there, we pushed back up. So let's see if this pushes back up. We've actually not been down to test this range, so remember there's always a possibility we could come back down to test that bottom level before we do push on. So that's a potential scenario where we could come back up, retest that, and then go back up to that region. But we could also just pop straight back up here as well. We could come back up, test this region here, get a retracement back, and then pull back up. It is just all solidly range bound, so we just need to see what's going on, don't we? I feel we're not in bear. I mean, we are. You could say the bear territory. It could be that, but it could also be accumulation territory. So that could be a bullish territory for people. Like they did say the other day about Bitcoin whales have accumulated another 90,000 BTC over the course of the last few weeks within this range. So, I mean, it could just be that accumulation phase before the next leg up. But who knows how long this accumulation leg could be? It could run into July, August. It could just keep bouncing up and down. I mean, could just keep doing this for a few months before the next leg up. Yeah, the rest of the financial market's the same. All the stocks and bonds and everything seems to be dropping. So it's not just Bitcoin, but as long as we stay within this area, I'm pretty much happy, to be honest. Portfolio is down a little bit, but nothing drastic. I'm still massively up compared to investments last year. So all in all, portfolio's looking okay, and Bitcoin's looking okay. I mean, everyone's been flapping like fuck since we had this drop from 41k down to 35, but the market can't just continually go up, can it? And like I say, people were not worried when we dropped from 40k down to 33k here, so why should I be worried when we dropped here? Personally, I'm not too worried yet. from the very highs to the very lows. We have done a 75% retracement. It was up at 517. We dropped our way down to 124. So that's pretty much similar to what everything else has done. As you can see, we are kind of uptrending here. So that's potential bullish bit of growth there. Just going to 4 hour. Again, it's a bit of period of consolidation, but it's upwards consolidation, as you can see. And like I just said on that time frame there, it is just slightly creeping up. And as you can see here, this was the lows. Obviously, this is a higher low, another higher low here. They're not the strongest of higher lows, but it is creating a bit of a bullish structure on the way up. If we just look at this entire move though, so we've used that 50% retracement pretty much 3 times, 4 times there as support, and it's actually bounced up a little bit there. If we do get a rejection, I would still potentially look at orders down here. Depends how the market goes this weekend though. We have had that drop. It seems though Monero's held up pretty well. It's done that 50%. So 2 buy zones there really. I mean, if the market does remain within this range, Bitcoin should I say, then those are 2 areas at 260 and 253, which could be good potential areas to buy in. If the market does dump again, remember there's always possibilities of going back down to these regions, but if you look at 196 there, I'm not going to say it's going to go down there, but if the entire market dropped, solid support there. We've had no closures below that region, so if the market does drop hard, then you could look at buys at 196, but just have to see what goes on there, mate. If you're looking on a bullish perspective, we are still trending up, so maybe buy zones anywhere from 260 down to 250, and then just have a few cheeky orders in down at this region if the market does shit the bed basically. I noticed it's fighting to get past 36. What line you on about, mate? God. Hay fever. My line doesn't work. What line doesn't work? This one just for 618 level. It's held up quite well, to be honest. And it's support all the way through. It's not mid-range, it's not exactly mid-range, but yeah. any other alts you want me to cover in chat, fire them in there, and I'll have a look at some altcoins now, because it's pretty much Bitcoin for the last 20 minutes. So what I need to look at, see if the green and fur has been absolutely twatted. $23, yeah, it's just been going down. I remember last week it went up to about 34. And it's still dropping down, which is always a good sign for buying. Buy when others are fearful. Everything's looking cheap, mate. Short lines for down there. So that's pretty much a range bound area for RSR. Get rid of volume because it's annoying. Currently using that bottom area support, bouncing back up a little bit now. We've done that full retracement, so yeah, it's a solid buy. I think anything under this region, under 3.4 cent, is a decent level. I think anything under that is sound, considering where we've been. Look at that. Bring our way up to 11 cents. So I think this is going to be massive. We do know that a lot of South American, Latino countries are trying to implement Bitcoin now, and RSR pretty much targets them countries as well. We're a hyperinflation country, so that could be a massive factor as well. If you're looking for buys, I would still target some on that bottom line over there, about 2.6 cent. I think 2.6 cent is a decent level. If it does come down, we've obviously done that full retracement of that entire move now, and we are pushing up, but let's just see how it goes. Matic. This is a setup I did on Matic on yesterday's stream, so we're looking for a couple of areas to target at 618 level. And we've actually popped down to the 786 there. Oh, not quite, have we? We dropped to about 786. On last stream, I did say I would potentially look at buying Matic at around 137. Still within that range at 140 now. And that's a potential setup I had. I mean, see if we can recover from that movement now. I mean, I would be buying at this price. I said on my stream yesterday I would be buying some of this price, and I just pretty much forgot to look at it, really. I ended up watching an England game and drowning my sorrows. But yeah, I think it's a solid buy to buy now. Anything between 130 and $1, even 116. Remember, this could just be a bit of a fake out, and we could drop down to 116. So I think buys anywhere around this range, a solid one. Maybe a ladder some down from 137 down to 116. It's quite a violent chart, right? It's been had some. Did a massive V-shaped recovery, and then we pretty much dwindled down. I was looking for a breakout of this downtrend here, which we did break out of. We'll come back down to test that 618L, so I think it's a decent level to buy now. Remember, we can always go lower, but if we do, just dollar cost average down, to be honest. Yeah, the game was terrible. Let's not talk about it. I wouldn't have bothered setting the alarm, mate, to watch that. Sausage sarnie. I could do one of them now, I'm starving. Music's a bit crazy this morning. So Matic, yeah, buys, I would be looking at anywhere from 137 down to 116. I think that could be some decent areas. We'll highlight that entire area. Let's see if we can continue this pump though. Maybe get some. There's a potential setup that we could go up and test this 50% region and come back down. So have a look at that. Well, Technical win for the Scots. How? It was 0-0. Not a technical win. And what else have we got in the chat? Not sure what Code is talking about. Or Uta. You're talking to me. Andrew Duff, audio. Well, that don't look too good, does it? %85 drop. I mean, you look at that and you think, oh, fucking hell, what's going on? But fundamentally, I'm guessing nothing's wrong. That's just the entire market. We are pretty much trading within this same ranges around here. That to me could be the potential bottom. I've had a bit of trading right now, so yeah, that looks like a decent level. Maybe if you're looking for buys, potentially, you could always drop down to that 73 cent region. That's potential buys on if you're ever looking for one. Would show me that there's a confluence with that bottom when it dropped down, but remember that when we did get that massive drop down, everything slammed down just to pick some liquidity, and that's where the liquidity was, so there's always a possibility it could drop down there. But in terms of, we need to really break out of yeah, around that range. Ignore that first bit, most altcoins did that. Yeah, we need to really break above 126 to get out of this potential horrible chop that we're in. Any thoughts on TRB Teller? I remember looking at TRB once. I remember got like a supply which is absolutely crazy. I remember it absolutely flying when we had the DeFi summer and everything was mooning. Yeah, it's only got 1.7 million supply on it. 72% down. I remember when it was about $1. I'm sure I remember it when it was like that, and I thought, oh, shall I buy some of this? But the supply put me off. So TRB, what did he say? Any thoughts on it? No thoughts on it personally, because I've not looked into fundamentals. Like I say, the supply put me off, because I remember back then when DeFi were flying, a lot of projects were pulling out coins with really low supplies, which were mainly looking for tokenomics to pump hard. When it put me off a little bit, but it's still going well. Its project's still going. It's got big backers. It's on Binance now, so it must be doing something right. Maybe worth taking another look into it at some stage myself. But currently, in quite a significant drop. If you're one of these people who like this project, then happy days. If you're looking for buys, maybe down at 33 cent at $33 could be a decent region to potentially look at. Then we need to break out of this top here at about 53, but in terms of buys, it looks like it's downtrending now, getting lower highs. So in terms of structure, it's looking a little bit bearish, to be honest. So you might get some orders filled back down at $33. Yeah, I think it is an Oracle, mate. What coin do you suggest trading for lifelong? Well, Bitcoin's probably the best to trade in. It's volatile. Bouncing up off this 618 level currently, so let's see if we can maintain this bit of growth here. Buying Zoom when? What? Is Zoom an asset, is it? Never heard of it. Please should top alt you're paying attention today, next week's happy days. I mean, if I had some spare Tether or stable coins on the side, I would be topping up on Zilliqa and VeChain and Polkadot. Parachains are coming over the next few months, so Polkadot ecosystem could grow nicely. So yeah, keep your eye on them three. I think Zilliqa ecosystem is growing nicely. Not heard him much from VeChain recently, but the partnerships they have is solid, and I think that could be a good asset to hold on to. If you look to the right hand side here, these are all wrecked trades, so I'm presuming red is shorts and yellow is longs. When we're sky high, I know it ain't right, it's just something that we do to pass the time inside my mind. Recently I feel like a goldfish the more that I smoke this. Oh shit, I think people are starting to notice I'm not myself no more now. I'm starting to dream and I live this way, and the since I was 18 won't change me. I went to my feet. Which is better, long or short at the minute? Well, if you look at this a second, I don't think leverage trading is wise at the minute, to be honest. This is the amount of shorts in play on Bitfinex. It's starting to drop off a little bit now. If this amount of shorts starts dropping off and back down to this region, then it could be good for a bit of price action, to be honest. All these don't center here. The current BTC buys and sells. Green buys, red sells. All orders over $100,000. Let's see if we can push up and regain that 36k region. Some shit music on this playlist. Yeah, it's across multiple exchanges, mate. Drop link in there. This is a new V3 version. There's quite a lot of different stats to check out, but I've not looked at it properly yet. You can change all sorts of stuff. It's a free website. So it's a decent one to check. It's quite addictive actually watching all these shorts and longs, as you can see there. Selling pressure comes straight through. So this is long and short positions, and this is spot buys and sells. So you can see most of it here is trading with leverage. This is spot buys. And this is liquidations on the right hand side when they do come through. Kusama. This was a setup on yesterday's stream. Looking at several laddered orders, all the way down from 369 down to 272, and then a push to the upside. It's still dropped within this range in this box I was looking at, so it's currently bounced off $300. Let's see if it spins around now. I think the market's starting to have a little bit of a relief bounce here. Let's see how long it lasts, but This could maybe bounce back to the upside. Let's see how it goes on though. If you're looking to buy, I think $300 is a nice level. Bounced off that pretty much twice there, so any buys within that range I think are decent, considering we've been up to 628. So let's see if that can spin around. So we have done a complete retracement. I was looking for buys up here at 10 cent on the nose. Bitcoin pretty much brought everything down with it, and we've done a full retracement exactly to a T of that move there. So I mean, let's see if we bounce up here. You might get some orders filled back down. Remember, we could always come back down to this region at 7.98 cent. That could be a good area to fill some orders up if the market does allow, but you just need to wait and see. Three range, so you got the high range there, low range, sorry, mid range and lower range there. So there's a good chance that it could come back down and test that region, but the first area to break through, 11.6 cent, we really need to regain that mid range and bounce up and try and test some of these 12.8 and 12.0 cent regions. Thoughts on the number of exchanges that exist? Crazy, isn't it? How are we going to slim it down? Well, we'd have to bring some type of enforcement in, which needs to happen at some stage, but there's that many dexes now, you can't even stop it really, can you? You can't stop a decentralized exchange. That's the issue, mate. There's that many good projects out. I prefer to hold over KSM, or the mothership. But yeah, I think there's too many exchanges, there's too many cryptos, and at some stage will come some regulation, but it's a new industry, isn't it? And it's just developing rapidly, probably a bit more quicker than people could have anticipated. That's why we had a lot of new people come into the market over the last few months, and then it's given them a bit of taste of their own medicine, hasn't it? And sent them down. But so far, not too bad. I mean, we had a lot of flapping yesterday saying bear market, this, bear market, that, but in reality we just come back down to test that 618 level, so let's see if we push on from here. Let's have a quick look at caps. Still respecting that 618 level, come back down, but it's tested it straight away. Any top resources to learn TA? YouTube. There's loads of free courses on YouTube. I'll just do some paid courses, have a look at learning crypto. There's some decent courses on there, but in terms of books, I've never read a book in my life, so can't offer any books. Panic for the Death Cross. Shall we have a look how it's playing out? Sick of hearing about this Death Cross. So there's Death Cross in play, there's also a Head and Shoulders in play, there's also a Wyckoff in play. I mean, how many indicators do people want to jump onto? It's getting closer. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Just another standard indicator, it doesn't mean a whole lot. No panic on this channel, mate. Nice and chilled. If it drops, then it drops, doesn't it? And accumulate lower if you can. If you can't, hold on. Inevitably, it's going to go back up. Let's see if we can maintain this bounce off this 35k region, which we're bang on that 618. Really, we need to target this region here first. Break above that on the lower time frames, and we can look at targeting this area up here. It's pretty much exactly right that I'd say it does here. It's probably already factored in. Inevitably, we're going to drop at some stage if it's already done a 50% drop, so yeah, you could say that. Need to find a new list of music because this is absolutely dog shit. Right, what other projects we're going to look at? Another 15 minutes we'll do on the stream, and then we'll call it a day. 39 likes, get it up to 50, and then get a few more people in. So what we've not looked at yet, we've not looked at Polkadot. I did a price analysis video on Polkadot yesterday. I was looking at buys at this 786 level, which is pretty much hit, to be honest, which don't look too bad. We're looking at buys within that region. I was looking for that 78% retracement of that entire move, and it's done that. So let's see if we can push on from here. We do have that lower range all the way down at $13. If we did come down to test that again, then Jesus. Andy McGrath GRT. And then I'll look at SNX and XRP too, and that looks at for a while. So I'll look at SNX. Still continuing to drop this really. I mean, a lot of projects are holding up well, but this looks like it's just continuing that drop down there. So that's quite a bearish sign so far. Not much to consider, but really you need to look for a breakout above that trend to try and go on and target some other levels. But if you're looking for buys, I think it's on the floor down here, down at 789. Looks like it's spinning around a little bit. We've done a full retracement right entire move there, so in terms of buys, probably at this level around here, and then we really need to try and break through this this trend. You probably could look at a test a bit like this. You could come out, retest them that trend, and then push back up. So that could be a potential bullish setup. In terms of bearish setup, we're currently at lows. I mean, you could always come back down and test this region, which we've pretty much used that area as support, so we could come back into that range and test that at some stage. GRT. That's done a full retracement near enough as well. Most assets have done these full retracements of them entire moves, haven't they? So I mean, looks like we're at the bottom of the range again. Let's try to see if we can flip it back up to 78 cent to regain some bullish momentum, because currently it's looking bearish, isn't it? Bearish on the pretty much chop city, still bouncing up and down there. XRP has lost that mid-range, so if you're looking for buys, maybe target down here. 64 cent could be a decent area to buy. And it orders from here 74 cent all the way down to 64. I think could be decent levels for you to buy there on XRP. So what do people think? Are we in a bear market or not? What do you reckon? Let me know what you think. Still don't think we are yet. I think that everything's okay at the minute. Still within Chop City. Use 35k as support, which has been support all the way through here. It's not quite mid-range, but it's pretty much a nice support level. Not bear market, just accumulation. I agree with that, mate. Same as what happened around here. Like I put a tweet out yesterday saying loads of people weren't saying anything about a bear market on these last 2 dips, and as soon as we hit 40k and reject again, people think it's a bear market now, when in reality, still in Chop City, aren't we? Not much going on in terms of price action. We're just bouncing up and down within this range. 31k to 41k is an area. Morning Tank, how are we doing? I think a retest of 31k, 29.5k then bounce. We've done that already twice, haven't we? I mean, 3 times you could say. We've tested 29.9k there, tested 31k, tested 31k again. There's always that possibility we could come back down and test it. We could come down and test 31k. Could even come down and test 28.1k. Personally, I think we might bounce here. Let's see if we can bounce and go up and maybe test 30. I think getting above 37k is the first major A. I think if we do push up above 37k, we might be able to regain some support and start pushing it back up. But currently, yeah, too smart, doing good, mate. Martin V-Chain, one of the best. I think it's a solid asset, mate. Yeah. Cheers, Nihal. Today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. It's coming home. I don't think it is coming home with a fucking performance like that yesterday. I always tell myself I'm never going to watch England, but then I end up watching it and then drowning my sorrows. Morning, Mike, mate. Let's see if we get a continuation of his stock to flow, eh? Don't be flushed out, that's the key. In reality, if you just hold on, you're not going to lose, are you? You'll be down in dollars for a certain amount of time, but inevitably it's going to go back up. Mark Shepherd, what's your opinion on Holochain and Bitcoin Cash? Well, I think Bitcoin Cash is an absolute pile of shite. We don't need Bitcoin Cash, we've got Bitcoin. Same as Bitcoin SV or Bitcoin ABCD or whatever the fuck's going on with all that now. I think it's a load of crap. In terms of Holochain, I've read some good stuff about it, but I've never felt like investing in a project. I just prefer other ones, to be honest. But yeah, Bitcoin Cash, I don't see the point of it. Craig Wright, I know ain't it, Bitcoin Cash, or one of them Bitcoin ones, and he's an absolute fucking bellend. Bit too early for swearing on a Saturday, isn't it? What's the status of a death cross? People are looking into this death cross way too much. It's just a crossover on moving averages. Status is like, who said it earlier on? Can't remember, but somebody said it earlier on. It's already been priced in for me. Nicely said. There you go. Don't mean anything. Could just cross over and then just go sideways and just keep going back up. It's not a good indicator at all. Look how many crosses we had around here. Cross there, cross there, cross there, cross there. It's just a load of bullshit. Cross there, 2 crosses there. I mean, imagine if you get a bear cross straight away when it's going up like that. It's a load of dog shit, isn't it? I won't worry about it too much. It's just because we've not had a crossover on the moving averages for a long time, since like March last year, so yeah, I won't worry about it. Is Ash as bullish as you? He seems a bit more bearish. I think he's just following the trend. It is in a downtrend at the minute. Personally, I think we're okay. Probably is a good time, like I said, it is a good time to accumulate Bitcoin using that BTCD chart, because we didn't have any relief all the way down, so there's a good potential. I think Ash is looking around 60% minute potentially. I think we could potentially bounce up to 52k if Bitcoin does go in a run. Altcoin in Satoshi pairs will get wrecked. So yeah, it could be a good period. Inevitably, I think still in a bull cycle, me, and everybody's got their own opinion, haven't they? Plenty of things that can play out. I'm not worried about anything until we do break below 30k. If we did, then, I mean, not worried. It's just what it is, isn't it? We just continue to carry on what we're doing, continue to make content. Bitcoin eventually, or crypto, is going to have a massive place in this world, so I'm not too worried about this cycle, really. Why do you think Coinbase is listing poo coins? One reason only, and that's trading volume. Doge and Shiba get fucking mass amounts of volume, and we're just tapping into that volume, aren't we? I mean, if you were in their position, you'd probably do the same, wouldn't you? Tap into that volume, make an absolute killing from it. Right, I think we might call that a day anyway. I'm absolutely starving, so we're going to get some bacon or something like that. Thanks everybody who's tuned in today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. I've been doing a stream every day for the last 10 days now, so I'm going to try and continue it for another 5 or 6 days, and then I'm back to work. But yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later.